Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Every now and then it's time to try something new, so I was really happy when the guys from Hertz Drums reached out to me to test their drum software, Hertz Drums. So I want to do a quick review of it, show you exactly what it is capable of, show you some unique features that I have not seen on other drum softwares yet, which make this one, I think, very special. And we'll have a listen at different samples, what they do, how they work, etc. Let's do it. Okay, so let's jump right into Logic and let's have a look at what we have here. So we have quite a neat operating interface here. As you can see, the kit comes standard with 2 kicks. That's quite welcome. We have a mixer, a library, sampler, which we'll get to soon. We have a very in-depth grooves, MIDI groove, programming interface, which is actually one of the main features, one of the best features of this one, I think. We can pick our presets up here. We can do some level changing here between the direct microphone, overhead subs and the effects. So which microphone, how sensitive it will be to the individual hits, to the individual instruments. We have a very comprehensive ADSR curve. This is very cool because you can actually shape the attack and the sustain of the individual hits. Built in, we have room and reverb, and for every instrument, for every sample, snare, kick, we can change how much room, how much reverb we have. We can change the ratio between them. I think that's very cool. Let's have a look at the mixer quickly as well. Quite standard, we have the standard faders for all of the individual instruments, but on the side we have the overhead, room and reverb faders, which do not scroll, which I love. Now this is a really small thing, but I think it's amazing that we can quickly change the overhead and room without having to scroll through quite a lot of microphones. We have the library and the sampler. This is where you load your individual sounds basically. And right now, as you can see, we have the progressive metal kit loaded, which comes with a specific snare, specific kick, and so on and so forth. But of course, we can change the kick and the snare to whichever one we like. As I mentioned, we have 5 snares in each pack and 3 different microphones on each snare. I think that's pretty cool. You know how different microphones have a very different sound on different snares. So let's have a quick look just at this one, what it does. So as you can see, the character changes quite dramatically. We have a bit more attack on this last one, a bit more body on the middle one. But they all sound great, all of them very usable. Let's just have a quick look what kind of snares we have in general in this pack. So it's quite a wide range of snares. They're all very different, and I think this is very much appreciated if you are programming your own music and you want to, you have a lot of flexibility here with what you can do, especially with the different microphones as well. There's a lot of room for sound shaping. Let's have a quick look at the kicks as well. Wow, okay, a lot of different kick sounds. I can already imagine how much you can do with these. Let's have a look at the second line of microphones here as well. Okay. Really cool sounds, I really like them. When you're programming drums, and especially when you're programming metal, being able to have 2 kicks with slightly different voicings is amazing because you don't get that very machine-like sound. I mean, some people like that, some genres demand it, but many people don't like that particular effect. Let's have a quick look at toms. These sound beautiful, I love these. Let's have a look at another pack here. So in the sampler, we have the different kits laid out. We have right now the white pack at the very end. This is all of the kicks and snares, whichever instruments you choose from the white pack. Then we have the blue in the middle in a slightly darker gray, and then we have the red on the very left. Also, every time you click on a particular instrument, you will get the samples of that instrument loaded up down here. So if I go to the hi-hat, for instance, you see we have the hi-hats of the different packs. Same for the kick or snare, toms. Let's have a look at the Groove Maker, which I think is one of the strongest points of this particular software. So within this Groove Maker, you can select your different kind of stylings. Right now I just have rock, metal and the funk grooves available. But within that you have plenty of opportunities. So the great thing is you have your grooves also categorized by speed, which means that you can pick your session tempo and pick grooves that are closest to your session. That way they will translate nicely. Let's say if I was to put an 86 BPM groove into a 125 BPM project, it might not sound the same, it might not translate well, it's just different kind of playing. So I would hear 125, I would pick obviously 126, and pick grooves from there. Now what I really like here is we have intros, beats and fills separately laid out, and they grow with intensity as you go further from left to right. So let's have a look at an intro here. We pick this one and we hit play. Okay, cool. And then if we pick the rightmost, it will probably be a bit heavier. Let's have a look. Okay, so that I really like. So you can really build a song and have it grow in intensity. Let's have a look at some beats here. Okay, so this is very smooth. This is barely a verse. This is quite, maybe a middle eight or the beginning of a verse. Let's see the other end of the spectrum here. So you can see that the intensity increased. There's a lot more going on. Let's have a look at a ride, something I would use in a chorus, for instance. Okay, so it organically switched to different cymbals, so we have a bit more energy, so we have good progress in the song. Let's have a look what the mixed does. I imagine that will be more crashes, more toms maybe. Yeah, okay, so this is clearly a middle eight kind of thing. Let's have a quick look at fills here. Let's take a middle one. Cool. Something with toms. Let's have a look at the mixed one. Whoa, okay, I love that. So this is really cool. So you can really go into different styles, you can pick your sample packs, and then you can build a song that grows in intensity quite nicely. So now let's get into what I find the most impressive part of this software, which is the MIDI mapping, which reveals exactly how much detail went into creating this software. So not only do we have the standard kind of main hit and rim shot on our snare, for instance, but we have center right, center left, rim shot right, rim shot left, shallow right, shallow left, cross stick. So you have all different articulations available here, so you can really almost program a fake human, completely natural sounding kit using all of these articulations. With the left hand, right hand, you can do really fast snare rolls just by using the center left, center right, rim shot left, and so on and so forth. That's quite amazing. Similarly, you have, of course, the two kicks, which is amazing because that way the samples will not overlap, and you can have different samples in left and right, so you can have a really natural sounding, really fast double kick sound present here. And if you think this is already amazing, you have the same amount of detail in the toms as well. So you have center, side, and left, right. This is amazing. This is unprecedented, I believe. And I checked some other software, and not all of them go into such detail. Not even some very prominent ones, let me tell you. And if you look at the hi-hat here, I mean, this is just madness, how many different articulations we have here. So you can really dive deep into programming your drums and making them as natural or as artificial as you want them. Let me just bring up the MIDI keyboard here and show you exactly how these different articulations sound, just to give you a quick example. That's the rim shot, I think. So I love this. You can do a lot with this. I think it's quite amazing. And then of course you have your kick 1 and the kick 2 here as well. So now let's have a quick listen at the different presets that they have. Hertz Drums is meant to be kind of drag and drop into the session. These samples are pre-mixed, so they are ready to go. You don't have to do anything with them, and I'll show you later if you just want a bit more juice out of them, what you can do. But earlier in my testing, I tried to see what you can do with routing all the drums into different outputs, which you can do here. Of course, like all the other software, you can have all of your instruments on separate outputs. You can process them as much as you want, but I found that the more I did, the more I messed up an already great sounding kit. So personally, I just went back on this particular software and I just applied a little bit of processing directly on the channel, which I'll show you later, and it's perfect. There's nothing you have to do really. Just choose the right pack, maybe replace the snare if you want, and just roll with it. So let's have a quick listen at different presets. This one is the progressive metal. I like this one a lot. Yeah, sounds great. I mean, what is wrong with it? It has attack, it has punch, it is beautifully roomy, it has very beautiful sound. What more do you want to do? It's great. Let's have a look at something else. Let's take a look at something very different here. Funk rock. What's that? I love it. More natural, deeper sounding toms. The kick sounds a bit more punchy thanks to the room, to different kind of room processing that they have here. The snare sounds great. I mean, everything sounds great here. I wouldn't want to do anything with this. Let's have a look at one more. We did one metal, we did one funk, so let's do Brit pop. Yeah, a bit more roomy on the snare, a bit more distant, smooth, the whole kit. I love it. It's absolutely perfect. One thing I have to mention here is the room itself. Now, Hertz Studios, Hertz Recording in Poland, they are famous for recording drums, and they are famous for recording amazing drums, especially for metal bands. They did bands like Behemoth, Decapitated, Vader, and many, many more. You can go on their website. I put a link below. They've done a lot of rock music, a lot of metal, and a lot of kick. And if you have watched any of my previous videos, you know how much I believe the room makes the actual drum tone. So you can have a great kit, a good drummer, good microphones, but if your kit is in a bad room, you can forget about it. I said it many times, just don't even get started. Program your drums, program it. It will be much better than forcing, squeezing almost a good kit into a bad sounding room and just recording an absolute mess. You'll not get a good sound with it. I've been there, I've done it, believe me. I recorded drums at the beginning of my career in living rooms and parts of it in a toilet, I believe. Not my proudest moment. But of course, then when you go to a really good studio, that sounds amazing because of course the acoustics make all the difference, and you put a kit there. It doesn't even have to be an amazing kit. It just sounds different, it feels amazing, and once you have that, you can just use your overheads, room mics, support it with your spot mics, and done. Happy days. So let's have a last little listen at what you can do with the drums if you really have to. Again, I don't believe there's a lot you can do. If I just put on my standard master bus processing here that I use on most of my mixes, it already opens up amazingly. So let's have a look without. Yes, it's louder, but it is also punchier. It has a bit more saturation, of course, from the black box. This already sounds amazing, but if you really want to dive deep, you can correct for some tiny little things. So let's have a look at it. I'm going to turn this off for now. One thing I heard was a little bit of 400 that I don't want there. I mean, that's it. What more needs to be done there? I don't think anything has to be done, to be honest. If we want a bit more juice out of this kit, we can just go to Crunch City, put on some 1176 Brutality. Let's just see how that sounds. So you can go heavy, you can go smooth. This was actually the pop kit, which sounded amazing if you crunch it up a little bit, but let's have a look at something more metal here. Let's have a look at power metal as well with the same processing. Let's take it from the same spot. Okay, I really like this one actually. I love how the room sounds on this one. I'm not sure if this is the right snare. For me, let's have a look at something else. So we're going to take snare and load this one here. Boom, what more do you want? Put some guitars on it, some bass, and you have a song basically. This groove itself, it took me 5 minutes to make earlier. You just pick the right fill, you just pick the right groove, drop it in, easy peasy. So I hope you like this video. Let me know what you think of these drums. Let me know if you use them. Let me know how you think they compare against other drums. I might do a video in the future comparing them to my other favorite software, which is of course Steven Slate Drums, which I've been using for a very, very long time. But I do suspect that with more and more sample packs that they make available, we might have a new player in town. I think a lot of people will start using these drums and will find it very, very useful for their sessions. So let me know what you think. I'm very curious. Please hit a like, subscribe, comment below, and I'll see you in the next video. And until then, happy mixing. Bye bye.